In the mist-covered seas of the ancient world, long before borders were drawn and empires measured in stone, there existed a power built not on walls or monuments, but on water, wind, and invisible maritime routes. They raised no towering fortresses, yet controlled the most vital sea lanes of the ancient world. They left behind few grand ruins, but their influence echoed across trade, religion, and culture throughout Southeast Asia. This was Srivijaya, a mysterious maritime empire that once ruled the crossroads between the Indian Ocean and the South China Sea, where merchants, monks, and empires converged. In this episode of Ancient History Files, we journey into the story of an empire without borders, without walls, yet master of the seas. The story of Srivijaya does not begin with ruins or monuments, but with silence. For centuries, the empire ruled the seas of Southeast Asia. It controlled the straits that linked India and China, the most important trade routes in the ancient world. And yet, when European scholars traveled through Sumatra in the 1800s, they found nothing. No crumbling palaces, no towering temples, no inscriptions carved into stone. Just forests, river deltas, swamps, and the lingering scent of salt carried by monsoon winds. Srivijaya had vanished so completely that historians weren't even sure the empire existed. But then, like a whisper rising from beneath layers of forgotten time, clues began to surface. Chinese records spoke of a powerful maritime kingdom called Srivijaya. Indian texts mentioned a Buddhist center of learning visited by monks traveling across the sea. And Arabic traders described a wealthy port city where gold, camphor, and exotic spices were traded in astonishing quantity. All signs pointed to a single mystery. Where was the heart of the Srivijaya Empire? A kingdom so rich, so influential, so feared, yet gone without a trace. Until one man changed everything. In 1918, the French scholar Georges Coët was studying inscriptions scattered across Southeast Asia. Stone tablets from the Malay Peninsula, bronze inscriptions from Sumatra, royal edicts from Thailand and Cambodia. They all mention something uncanny, a supreme maritime power, to name repeating again and again. Srivijaya. Coët realized he had stumbled upon one of the greatest missing chapters in Asian history. By connecting dozens of inscriptions, he reconstructed the outline of an empire that had once ruled the sea lanes of the ancient world. But the most shocking discovery was this: Srivijaya was not a land empire. It was an ocean empire. Its power didn't come from armies, but from mastering the monsoon winds and controlling maritime choke points. This was a civilization built on the water, a thalassocracy. And that meant something extraordinary. The ruins we expected, the temples, palaces, monuments, might never have existed on land at all. Srivijaya lived on the sea, and much of it was swallowed by the sea. To understand Srivijaya, we must go back 1,300 years and stand on its shores. Imagine the Strait of Malacca in the 7th century. The monsoon winds rule everything. When they blow south, ships from China glide into Sumatra's harbors. When they blow north, Indian merchants cross the Bay of Bengal. Srivijaya sat at the perfect intersection, like a toll gate between two civilizations. Every ship that passed through paid taxes, bought supplies, offered tribute, or risked being attacked by Srivijaya's naval forces. The empire became rich, extraordinarily rich. Gold from Sumatra, ivory from Africa, cloves from the Moluccas, sandalwood from Timor, porcelain from China, silk from the Tang dynasty, texts from India. Even pilgrims on their way to Nalanda, the greatest Buddhist university in the ancient world, stopped in Srivijaya to study and rest. The empire was so influential that the Chinese monk Yi Jing, traveling in the year 671 CE, wrote, "Srivijaya is a great center of Buddhist learning. Those who wish to travel to India should first study in Srivijaya for 1 or 2 years." This wasn't just a trading empire. It was a spiritual one. The king of Srivijaya, styled Maharaja, was both a political ruler and a patron of Mahayana Buddhism. Beneath the scent of incense, chanting echoed across wooden halls and temple complexes built near the coast. But where exactly was the capital? Historians debated for decades. Palembang? Jambai? Kedah? And then clues emerged from the mud. In the 20th and 21st centuries, archaeologists digging along the Musi River in Sumatra found something astonishing. Fragments of Chinese ceramics, beads of Indian glass, foundations of wooden structures preserved in anaerobic mud, gold ornaments carved in Buddhist motifs, and most importantly, remains of ancient port installations. This was not a landlocked capital. This was a river port connected to a vast delta that emptied into the sea. The heart of Srivijaya was likely a network, a series of ports, canals, palisades, and wooden cities floating on or built beside the water. A civilization like Venice, but older, richer, and far more powerful. But such a city was vulnerable, would rot. Floods reshape rivers. The sea rises. Tropical forests swallow everything left behind. This is why Srivijaya disappeared so quietly, leaving only fragments. Yet their maritime technology was legendary. Srivijaya's ships were colossal. Some Chinese records describe fleets with hundreds of vessels. These weren't simple canoes. They were multi-deck trading ships, powered by sails and oars, capable of carrying dozens of tons of cargo across ocean distances. Some scholars believe Srivijaya may have invented early forms of the outrigger ship and contributed to the maritime spread of Austronesian culture across the Indian Ocean. Srivijaya did not rule through force alone, but when challenged, it responded with overwhelming power. In the year 992, a Javanese kingdom attempted to defy Srivijaya's dominance. They sent an envoy to China trying to bypass Srivijaya's trade monopoly. Srivijaya intercepted him and executed him. China took notice. When Srivijaya sent tribute, the Song dynasty honored them as the masters of the Southern Ocean. But the greatest threat came from the north. In 1025, the powerful Chola Empire of South India launched a massive naval assault on Srivijaya. Chola warships raided ports across Sumatra and the Malay Peninsula, capturing the Srivijayan king and seizing the straits. It was a blow the empire never fully recovered from. Over the next centuries, its power faded as rival kingdoms, Majapahit, Malayu, and later Malacca, rose to prominence. By the 14th century, the empire that once ruled the sea had vanished from memory. Nature swallowed its wooden cities. Rivers shifted. Swamps grew. And Srivijaya slipped quietly into the realm of forgotten history. Today, archaeologists continue to uncover the world Srivijaya once dominated. Underwater surveys in Palembang's rivers reveal anchors, ceramics, gold coins, and ship remains dating back over 1,000 years. LiDAR scans and satellite mapping show networks of ancient canals stretching across the lowlands of Sumatra. Even the rainforests echo with clues: gold beads, Buddhist votive tablets, bronze statues, and melted piles of glass from ancient workshops. Each discovery adds another stroke to a civilization painted largely by absence. Like Atlantis of the East, but real. The true nature of Srivijaya is still being written today in laboratories, museums, and muddy riverbanks where divers sift through centuries of silt. Though its cities have long since vanished beneath jungle and silt, Srivijaya did not disappear. Its legacy survives, not in stone, but in the living currents of Southeast Asia. First, the Malay maritime tradition. The skills of shipbuilding, open sea navigation, and monsoon-based trade were refined during Srivijaya's golden age. For centuries, sailors learned to read the winds and tides the same way their ancestors once did under the empire's watchful control of the seas. Second, the spread of Buddhism. Srivijaya stood as a vital bridge between India and the East. Monks, scholars, and sacred texts passed through its ports, carrying Mahayana Buddhism across the maritime world and shaping spiritual life, from Sumatra to the far reaches of Southeast Asia. Third, the foundation of Malay identity. Language, customs, and political traditions were molded during Srivijaya's rise. What later generations would call Malay was first forged in these ports, courts, and trading networks. Finally, regional diplomacy. Srivijaya mastered power without conquest. Its systems of tribute, alliance, and trade became a model for later maritime states, from Malacca to Johor, empires that inherited its understanding that control of the sea meant control of history. Srivijaya may have faded from the maps, but its ocean legacy still moves beneath the waves, silent, enduring, and very much alive. Srivijaya did not fall in a single battle. It faded like mist drifting across open water. As trade routes shifted, as new powers emerged, and as the sea grew silent of its name. But disappearance is not the same as forgetting. In ancient Buddhist texts, in the languages and port cities of Southeast Asia, Srivijaya still endures as a memory of an age when the sea was the highway and knowledge was the greatest form of power. History is not written only by empires that leave behind towering ruins, but also by civilizations that once shaped the world and then quietly vanished. Thank you for joining the History Files in on this journey into the legacy of a forgotten maritime empire. We'll see you again in the next chapter of Ancient History Files. Thank you for visiting the History Files in. If the past moved you today, don't forget to leave your mark, subscribe, and return when the next file opens.